Oh man, I'm so tired. I really didn't sleep good last night. We have a lot to do today. I'm just going to spend some time doing my morning prayer, and then we'll start kind of working out what we're going to do, some plans we have for today, do the things that we need to do, but also I have some ideas for today that are a little different than normal. So let's just get to prayer, and then we'll figure everything else out as we go along. All right, so here we begin our morning prayers. Of course, this is my same structure as I did the other day, where I open with the sign of the cross. And then the sign of the cross that I'm doing specifically is the Orthodox sign of the cross. It's okay if you do the Catholic or Orthodox sign of the cross. It really doesn't matter. I personally prefer the Orthodox sign of the cross just because it's so much more rich with meaning, especially with the three fingers and all that stuff. I would urge you to look more into it. It's just something that I resonate with more, and it really feels like it empowers my prayers in a more spiritual way compared to the Catholic way I feel. And so after the sign of the cross, I do the 33 Jesus prayers, the 4 Our Fathers, and the 3 Glory Bees, and then end it with a Hail Mary. And I like this structure a lot. Personally, I've really grown. I've tried different structures and different prayers, and this is like my essential list of things. If I was to add one more prayer, it would probably be Saint Gertrude's prayer for the saints in purgatory. But the reason why I like this structure a lot is because I open with the sign of the cross. So there's an opening prayer, and then there's a closing prayer of the Hail Mary. But in between those are 40 prayers, 33 Jesus prayers, and then 4 Our Fathers and 3 Glory Bees. And this is kind of like a perfect number, right? The 33 to represent the fullness of Christ. This is like standard Orthodox numbers. Then after that, the 4 Our Fathers, which is the 4 Gospels. And then after that, the 3 Glory Bees to really emphasize the Trinity. And the Our Fathers and Glory Bees make up 7, and that 7 added with the 33 makes up 40 to represent like the 40 days that Jesus fasted, the 40 years. It's just all perfect numbers that bring me back to Christ, that show me the power and glory of God. And these are such great things to meditate on and remember and think about deeply. After my prayer, I decided to have a little bit of breakfast. It's just pretty much my baked wheat cake with the fine red bean paste that I get from Japan, and a tall coffee. I typically use black instant coffee. It's not great, but I kind of dress it up with this zero sugar creamer. It's like a hazelnut or sometimes a vanilla cream. And that makes it more palatable, but it gives me a lot of energy. It's a good breakfast. It's really easy. And while eating my breakfast, I was kind of making plans for the entire day, what I was going to do, different ideas that I had to record today. And I think the first thing that I wanted to do after breakfast was walk my 5 miles on the treadmill, do my hiking, while also studying Matthew chapter 1 more in detail. But after that, I wanted to make a video about an essential prayers list that, like, the top 5 prayers I recommend people to memorize and to practice daily. I don't know if it's satisfying to watch me do like these jump cuts of me walking, or if it's just really boring. But you have to keep in mind that when I do the walking, when I do the hiking on the treadmill, I'm spending at least 2 hours doing that. And it gets pretty monotonous. Luckily, I'm always using this time to study scripture, kind of do other things that keep my mind busy, so I'm not having to just stand here and do my walking for 2 hours. But if you guys think it's boring watching me do like these 1-minute jump cuts of me walking, imagine that, over the course of 2 hours, it's it's not as fun as it should be, but I'm starting to really like it. And like I said before, it's just a fun meditative experience. Okay, so we just finished our 5 miles. I'm gonna take a bit of a break gonna shower, kind of get clean, maybe have some lunch. But then when I come back, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm spending so much time memorizing the Gospels. Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to make this video because a few of my friends have asked me, what prayers do I normally do? Like if I had a list of top 10 prayers, what would they be to memorize, to meditate on, to think about? And there are so many beautiful prayers. There are like an endless number of beautiful prayers. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about why I'm memorizing the Psalms and the 89 chapters of the Gospel. And this is mostly just because of my evangelization to Japan. It's funny, there are 88 temples in the Shikoku pilgrimage that I'll be doing. And I think, wow, that's very similar to the fact that there's 89 chapters of the Gospel. And so I realized that this is a bit of a sign, right? I wanted to memorize the Gospel so that when I go to the temples, I can recite each chapter at the temple. And it's interesting because the typical Buddhist pilgrimage is that you go to temples and you recite a sutra from Buddhist scripture. And as you go throughout the journey, you're learning the fulfillment of truth and wisdom through these Buddhist scriptures. But of course, we know the true fullness of divine revelation is in the Gospels. And I thought, wow, it's very interesting that there's 88 temples and there's 89 chapters of the Gospel. So I was kind of attributing each chapter of the Gospel to different temples that I want to do, that I want to recite and go through in their order, starting from Matthew to Mark to Luke to John. But what's interesting is that I found out, and this is totally a coincidence, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe this is a sign that this was meant by God to have happened, like preordained a long time ago. But there's actually a rumored secret 89th temple. I don't know if you guys know that. This is hidden and it's only known to people who are very serious about the pilgrimage and more deep Buddhist monks. It's like a spiritual thing. And I thought, well, that's perfect. That 89 directly matches the 89 chapters of the Gospel. So I took that as my sign that I want to learn the 89 chapters of the Gospel. Now, so why the 150 Psalms, right? So when you go to the temples, you recite a prayer and you recite a sutra, like the quote from the Buddhist scriptures. That's like normally what they do. So I thought, well, I'm quoting the scriptures. I should give a prayer. And so I have my own prayer system of the Jesus prayer, the sign of the cross, Our Father, the Glory Be, and then Hail Mary. But, and this is really interesting, along the trail are shrines. And shrines aren't the same as temples. Temples are a huge compound with many buildings, and there's a main hall, and they're like clearly defined with boundaries. But shrines are like these smaller areas where people go to pray. Usually it's like dedicated to one of the many gods or one of the many yokai, across, or even to demons. And you give these shrines for like protection. They're responsible for different things. Like there's a Kumano shrine, which is about purification, right? And there's like a Suwa shrine for other things. But along the Shikoku pilgrimage, there are 150 unique shrines. So there's more than 150 shrines, but some of them are repeating. Like there's like multiple Suwa shrines, there's multiple Kumano shrines, and so on. But there's exactly 150 unique shrines on the trail. And so to me, I took that as a sign as that's where I want to do my Psalms. I want to do my scripture and my Psalms at the temples, and then where the extra shrines are, I want to do my Psalms, right? So that's the whole purpose of why I'm memorizing the Psalms and memorizing the Gospel. But also, at their core, it's a very good idea to memorize these things. You want to keep the law close to your heart. And we know the law is fulfilled in Jesus Christ, and the fullness of the law is to love God with all of your heart, mind, and soul, and to love others as yourself. And by memorizing all the chapters of the Gospel, and by memorizing the beautiful prayers of Psalms, we have a mighty sword within us that we can actively recall, that we can actively sit and meditate on, that's very close to us. And so I think it's very important to memorize it for that reason alone. Even if you're not going on this pilgrimage, even if you're not doing this, do that. Still memorize the Gospel, still memorize the Psalms, because trust me, it'll grow you deeply. Hey guys, today is day 2 of studying the Hiragana alphabet, and we are starting with the T line of those 5 letters, and these are Ta, Chi, I just got done filming another video on the Hiragana alphabet for day 2. Hopefully I can get up today. We'll see. I'll try really hard. But it might end up going up tomorrow just because it took me about an hour to film and it takes me about an hour or two to actually edit. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I'm already really tired. I did a lot of stuff today. So hopefully I can get up by tonight, and then tomorrow I don't have to worry about it. But I also need to work on making more flashcards, and that takes a long time as well. I got to make 15 more for tomorrow. I've got to make about 15 more for tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully this works out. I'm kind of like rushing because I'm so tired. After I finish editing and doing all that, I think I'm just gonna have dinner and pass out. If I don't end up doing my flashcards, I'll try to do them early in the morning tomorrow so that they're ready by evening when I film the lessons. All right, yeah, let's see how this works. Let's try to do it, guys. Let's go. Sorry guys, I tried to get the video edited and done, but I'm just so tired that I'm gonna sleep right now and then try to wake up maybe around 3 in the morning and finish these videos and get them up. But yeah, today marks the end of day 2.